Jay, how are you, man? I'm excited to do this episode. We've been talking a little bit off screen, but I really like the philosophy that you embody and the philosophy that you're also trying to how would I call it? Cultivate around the people that around you, as well as like young teens, older people. Why is it that you started a lot of these social meetups? Because that's how we started meeting. So these social meetups are exactly for what? Like, can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh, okay, sure. So it starts off in this way. I come from a line of medicine men, or what you call wizards, and they were philanthropists. Well, I'm not a philanthropist. I don't have that
Medicine men.
Yeah, medicine men.
Okay, what does
So
that mean?
medicine men used to make these herbs
Mm-hmm.
and very powerful herbs and medicines. And they used to, there was a lot of healing and there was deliverance.
Okay.
Yeah, so people had strange illness and strange issues. They would drive it away.
You said magicians though too, right?
I said wizards.
Wizards.
Yeah, that's a better term. But in a way, that's kind of magic too, you know.
Really?
Yeah. People who drive away spirits.
Okay. So that's kind of like the line that you come from?
Yeah, my ancestral line.
Okay. Okay.
But the point I'm trying to bring is that they were philanthropists and they did much for others.
Okay.
And so I'm that kind of a person who likes to give to society.
Okay.
And I'm a software engineer,
Mm-hmm.
but then I also have a heart for doing something for others. And whenever I see a need, I want to do something. The young kids, I see a need. The older folks, I see something missing. I see there's a need. People in the mid age, I see a need. So I want to help them. So all these events I do to help everyone so that they have a better quality life with quality events, whether it be sports, whether it be dancing,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be the way how they eat, what what they know about languages and religion. And so it's just a combination of a lot of things.
It's really interesting. We were talking about that today. Dating is hard. Not only for young teens. I mean, I can tell you myself that in your 20s, just like you said, you don't necessarily want to settle.
Yes, yes.
And you put it perfectly that you're just going around in circles.
Yes, yes.
Is that something that you wanna end up fixing, end up helping? How do you wanna help that?
Yes, yes, yes. So I saw a need because I saw people who were much more later in their age life. They seem to be single. We have a lot of singles in this nation, and what I see is they keep doing the same thing. They go to bars, they try to meet someone, and then they drink, and then they try to date, and next day, and next day, and next week, and they're still single.
So people have options then, but do you think it's because they don't really have a goal either?
I think they're not. So the way how I look at it is, if they've been doing something for a very long time and it's not working, then maybe they need to do something different. And then I'm trying to bring that difference to them.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell them, hey, listen, if it's not working, maybe you need to do something different.
Yeah.
And I have some ideas. Then there are kids who are young, guys who are really young, they don't know much about dating. It's too early for them to settle.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of goofy and not too serious. And then the girls, their age, are like, listen, they're looking for a serious guy. So they're not able to find that in that age group. And so I'm trying to do something there. And then people who have been married and they meet their midlife crisis, they're in between. They just came out. They don't know what dating sites are there. Yes. They don't know what the options are. Dating has changed so much. So I would say these three different groups of people are people that could use my events or these ideas. And then I have parents and kids also, who it has nothing to do with dating. But parents and kids want to do events for their kids. I have women-only group. I have Christian groups, because I'm into religion and language. And so the different kinds of events I try to do. So I teach 10 different dances, basic level. I speak around 10 different languages, and I'm starting to teach all of them one by one.
Yeah.
So at the moment, we have 4 languages in process.
That you speak fluently? Which ones are the ones that you speak fluently?
I speak very fluently, I would say English, I hope.
Yeah.
So English, and then I studied French for 7 years in college. Not as the main language, but a sign language. I've had to work with a lot of Spanish people, and I do work with them on a regular basis. And then I grew up in the Middle East, so I speak Arabic. I speak, read and write Arabic. Indian language is Hindi. I read, write, and speak Hindi.
Okay.
And then Urdu and Farsi, or the Iranian language, are related. It's the same Arabic alphabet script. And so I speak Urdu also. And then I speak my local Indian languages, about 2-3 of them.
How do you manage all those languages? Don't you ever get confused or?
No, this is the interesting part. They're all related. So if you learn French and Portuguese and Spanish, they're related. It's easy to learn it.
Really?
Yes. So if you're learning Scottish and Irish and Welsh, they're Gaelic. So it's easy to learn it.
Gaelic?
Gaelic. Gaelic is the language of Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're learning those 3 languages together, they're similar.
But let's just put I know that the only example that I can bring up is like Spanish and English. You know how some words are like backwards, like the sentence is backwards.
Yes.
Isn't that kind of the same issues across?
Yes. So you can't have 2 languages that are the same. So there are similarities and there are differences too.
Okay.
But you work on the similarities. If you know Spanish, you can learn Portuguese easily. So if you know Arabic, you can learn Farsi, Urdu, Hebrew easily.
But each of them also are written differently, right?
Okay, this is interesting. So Hindi and Urdu are very similar when you speak, but their alphabets are completely different. Because Urdu is written in Arabic script.
And the other one?
Hindi is an Indian script. So though they sound the same and it has same words, it's like they rewrote the whole of Indian language in Arabic script and called it Urdu in a way.
Wow, and you're still able to manage all those languages, though, right?
Yes, because they're all related. They all are the same group of language.
Yeah.
So it's easy to learn. So growing up in the Middle East, my best friends were Arabs and Pakistanis. So I spoke in Urdu and Arabic a lot.
Oh, okay. So you practiced it a lot.
Yes.
But don't you confront the issue that if you don't speak that language often, you are gonna lose it?
I do. Most of my very good friends over here are Arabs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I get along with them very well. I get along with them more than you see. I was born in the Middle East. So my hardware may be Indian. My parents are Indian. So my hardware may be Indian, but my software is Middle Eastern.
Okay.
So the way how I eat and do a lot of stuff are similar to the Arab culture and Arab people.
What traits are usually associated with Middle Eastern culture?
Well, the food, the food. They're into humor a lot.
Really?
So yeah, we there's a lot of humor, and beliefs, culture. The Arab culture is they follow a particular culture, what they do and what they don't do.
What do they believe?
Well, they are very good in hospitality. Yes, they will never say, "Oh, meet me at the restaurant." They'll say, "Come home."
Really?
Yeah. They'll say, "Hey, invite your family. We'll meet in the restaurant." No, they will invite you home.
It's kind of like mi casa es tu casa.
Yes. They're very hospitable. They're very generous. They always fight for the bill. They say, no, I'm going to pay. And they literally have a fight in the restaurant. like
Yeah, really?
not real fist fight, but really restraining. I once was going to pay a bill. My friend pushed me. I fell down. I was going to pay. He pushed me. I fell down. I'm not joking.
Man, we got to go to lunch.
Sure. Definitely, anytime.
Yeah, man. So, you knowing all these languages, it's pretty interesting then that you try to include this, and I guess, do you try to teach all the languages to your groups? Do you try to make them aware of it so that more communication can go on, or kind of what is the end goal?
Okay.
To teaching languages?
I think we all need to know about each other. There's a lot of things about Arabs that we need to know. So every culture has its plus and minus. My policy is take the plus, ignore the minus. Okay? We can learn from each other. The way how you think, the way how I think. I would like to know how you think. I would like you to know how I feel and think. And so, so we teach Spanish and French, and then we have classes for Arabic and Urdu. We're starting Urdu next.
Urdu, I've never really heard that.
Okay, Urdu is an interesting language. It's a new language, probably around 600 years ago or something. So you have Arabs, you have Persians, and then you have Indians. So three completely different races in a way.
Yes.
And so in between, when they met for war and all that, in between they had to communicate with each other, and a new language got formed. It's one of the most sweetest language in the world.
Why do you say sweetest?
Because it's a combination of Arabic and Persian. And Farsi is Persian language is a very sweet language. Arabic is also a very nice language people like to hear.
Okay.
And then you add Indian in that, so...
But all of those languages come with different accents. Is it not hard to adopt it? You being you said you had the hardware of an Indian, so
Yeah.
is it not hard to communicate these languages even though you learn it?
I mean, once you're interested in something, you learn it. So one thing you need interest, and the other is the necessity. If I'm in the Middle East and I'm just not going to learn their language, I'm not going to be making friends there.
Absolutely.
So you're interested in meeting people, and then you have to. And then I know they're all different, but they have a lot of commonalities too.
Okay.
Which makes it easier.
And has been learning so many languages helped you meet like a lot of people, bring a lot of people together?
Yes. So we have an Iranic Turkic group. Mm-hmm. So Turkic is a totally different race. A lot of people don't know. It's got about 10 nations. Turkic. A lot of people don't know. It's a group. See, a lot of people get confused between Arabs and Iranians.
Yeah,
it's two completely different things.
It's like Latinos. It's like, oh, you're Honduran and you also look Mexican or whatever, you know. So like they confuse it. I think that doesn't that happen like.
Yes. A lot of people. You want to really preserve an Iranian, call him an Arab, or call an Iranian an Arab and Iranian. So there are two completely different languages and races. One is Semitic, one is Indo-Aryan. They're two completely different races.
Okay.
I mean, people confuse them because I think they both get shot at, but two completely different languages. They were completely different religions, and so and so then you have the Persian race, you have Persian languages, you have the Arab, and then you have Turkic, which is another set of places that people don't know about.
Man.
Turkey, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, these are all Turkic people. They're a totally different race.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not Arabs and they're not Persians.
And you're also, you said you study a lot of philanthropy, right? Like
I know, and anthropology.
anthropology. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
anthropology.
Yeah.
So yeah, so wow. I didn't know that there existed that many sections to
A lot of people don't know.
to one part. So I mean, it's amazing though that you're the person that also is trying to like bring all these groups together. As well as there are pluses, I bet there's also a lot of cons whenever people meet you because they don't know. You were telling me about a story that you love salsa. Let's move on a little bit to that.
Yeah.
That salsa helped you gain confidence. Salsa helped you not be in the corner you used to be or the shy guy. Whenever you announce that you're going to teach salsa, people look at you.
Yeah. So yeah, let me explain. So yeah, it is difficult to get a lot of people together. For example, my one group is Arab, Turkic, and Persians, and the three groups don't like each other. They've been fighting for centuries.
And even if they're like, let's say in this setting, they won't get together.
They don't. I'll give you an example. Azerbaijan used to be a Persian race. They're not a Persian race anymore. They're a Turkic race. Their race got changed. I'm just giving you an example. So there are countries which have switched from one race completely. That's like me just one fine day just becoming a Chinese. It's like a different race.
But why do they do that?
It happened over invasions.
Oh,
Country got invaded. Yeah,
okay.
so they don't get along. It's difficult to get them together, but then there is a binding common force. They're all the same religion, so it makes easier. They all eat kebabs. And so there are things that bind them together. So I'm trying to use that. But so I just wanted to finish that topic. But regarding salsa, yeah. So when I first came here to Charlotte, I didn't have any friends, and someone suggested I go to learn salsa. And so
not only did you not have friends, but you were also telling me that, let's say in your culture, it's respected, and it's a guy that is shy, that is reserved, is sought out more.
Exactly. So, for example, in my culture, if I go to some lady and say, "Hey, how are you doing? Can I get you a drink? Oh, you look great today." She will have a negative thought about you. Her parents will, because this guy's a player.
Oh, dang! Yeah.
But and so if you're like very shy, such a nice guy, doesn't talk to girls. So that's what I was brought up in. Very religious background.
So your mindset's kind of wired to not overplay your words or seek out. So fun then is also a form of like things that wouldn't fit in.
Fun?
Like
we don't have a Friday night in India or the Middle East. There, here Friday night is a big thing. That's when you get paid. That's when you go and party.
Yeah.
I never knew what Friday night was like. If someone said today's Friday night, I'd say, by the way, our holiday there is on Thursday and Friday, not Saturday and Sunday.
What,
in the Middle East.
Really?
Yeah, it's Thursday and Friday. Because Friday is their holy day.
Oh, okay.
Friday and Saturday is a Jewish holiday. Friday is a Muslim holiday.
Okay.
So obviously, Friday night meant, we're going back to school tomorrow. So
man, so that also caused like did that also cause you then to like, whenever you came to Charlotte, you were like, okay, like I have to learn all these new things.
Oh yeah. I have a lot of funny stories, learning different experiences in this country. My goodness. There's a lot of situations. So I had to learn a lot about. And one of the things is here, I think people find they don't like guys who are like very shy. They like people to be communicative. Nobody wants to date a shy guy, or nobody wants to hang around with that shy guy.
But that's the hardest thing to obtain these days, confidence.
Confidence, yes. And so salsa, that's what dance gave me. See, because if I go to a group and I'm saying, hi, hello, I'm shy, right? Once I learned how to dance, I went over to the first lady. I said, would you like to dance?
Mm-hmm.
She gave me her hand. We danced. Once that is done, I went to the next lady. I danced with the next lady. So in 1 hour, 5 minutes, there are 12 songs. In 1 hour, I danced with 12 women. I didn't ask their name. I may have, but I didn't get their name. I didn't get their phone number. I didn't buy them a drink. 1 hour, 12 women. I danced with them. My confidence and my communication skill got improved. And so now I am trying to go to these other people and tell them, listen, this is how I was. And I want you folks also to build communication skill and confidence like I have. So I want you to benefit like I did.
Has it benefited everyone just like it has you?
Yes. So I know some of my students who got married.
Really?
Who have moved in.
Through salsa?
No, through my event.
Through your events. Okay.
Yeah, they got married, they moved in. I'd like to give you one example. Joe, this guy Joe. I met him at an event. Very well-dressed guy. I went over to him. I said, hey, hi, how you been? Are you having fun? And he goes, oh, yeah, I'm having fun. I said, really? Are you really having fun? And he said, what do you mean? I said, I've seen you the last 10 times. You're really well-dressed. But in the end of the night, you're all alone. Is it really working? And he goes, yeah, man, it's not working. And I said, maybe you need to do something different. And he said, like what? And I said, I was like you. Learn how to dance. Dance is 80% women and 20% men. They need you. When you go there, they want to dance with you. You don't have to buy drinks and just stick to one person. Get to meet a lot of women. And he said, yes, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to come to class. It's been 4 years. Guess where Joe is today?
Married.
No, he's still in that same corner because he didn't take my advice. But the others who took my advice, they're a totally different person today.
Really?
Yeah.
And yeah, dance today, I feel like a lot of us want to learn it, but we're really shy. Or I can tell you from my experience, I dance in my experience changed the way I carried myself, the way I would interact with people. Because before I knew how to dance, I would sit at the table. I would sit at the table. Like in our culture, quinceañeras are really big.
Yes, I know.
And I would love going to these quinceañeras. I would love it. Oh my gosh, because they're dancing the whole time. There's food. Again, I was 15, so again, I wasn't drinking. So I'm having the time of my life. I see all my high school friends. But the only thing that always held me back is that whenever people went out to dance, I was the last one at the table. And then I started actually, I got invited to be one of the chambelanes to dance in the group. And then I was like, oh my gosh, dancing's not that hard. Dancing is actually fun. And after that, God, it has made so many connections for me. It's changed my perspective in the way that I look at it. So I would really invite people to do it. And the way that you're doing it, is it always easy for people to come out of their shell?
No, it is. It's people are like women love to dance. Oh yeah, women love to dance as much as they love flowers. But it's difficult for guys to come to dance. They're like, I don't want to look like a clown. I'm like, listen, everyone's a beginner. And they're like, no, I don't want to dance. Like, it's not a guy's thing. Like, and some of them don't, and they feel that it's not macho. Like a piano instructor, a person who teaches piano. Like, oh, he's teaching piano. He teaches dance. Okay, and then they assume he's not interested in men or in women or something. So yeah, like so there's that thing also. A lot of people think it's not macho enough if they dance, and they teach piano, they play piano, they sing.
If only they knew that. It would open doors.
Oh yeah, it does, and that's what I do. So I'm a salsa evangelist. And
what is that? I was laughing at it whenever we first talked. I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah. So I used to be the other evangelist, where I went to people and shared the truth, and brought light in their life. And the same way, the salsa evangelist has nothing to do with the religion. He goes to these dark places where there's never been salsa. Maybe Gastonia, Lake Norman, Fort Mill, Rock Hill. So I go to these dark places. I share the joy of salsa, and I tell them about the benefits of it and how it has changed my life. And I say, let there be salsa. And there is.
Does everyone always receive it well, though?
No, it is a bit difficult. I think...
because what are the darkest places you have visited that...
Lake Norman, Gastonia, Shelby, Rock Hill, Fort Mill.
Yeah.
They like to watch dancing, but they don't like to do it. So those have been a bit difficult.
Oh man! But how do you manage that then?
I prioritize. Like I don't do events every week in Shelby or Fort Mill.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just do it on a need basis. Like once a month, I do it there.
Okay. But it's not only you're not only trying to do these social events where you go dance, you're also trying to do it with younger adults too, right? Like pickleball,
yes,
bowling.
Yes.
All these events, do they help? Do they make new connections? Like do the teens make connections? Does it help? Because again, you're trying to bring up a new concept where, let's say, teens don't necessarily have to drink to have fun. They just need more socialization.
Yes. So we have different groups like that. We have groups for Christians.
Okay. Is you manage that too?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a Christian group too. We have a celibate group, which is funny. Celibate group.
Why is it funny?
Celibate group of people who don't want to date or wants to stay single.
They just want to stay single.
Yeah. It's a very small group, obviously. And so and then there are parents with the kids. There are places and things that they don't want to do. So, but we've got everyone covered. We have different events for different age groups. I have a 20-30s group. We also have I'm also a sober group. So we don't do events in a brewery. And we don't do in a place that's like serves drinks and stuff. So the sober group, there's also a sober group like that.
Does that come for a reason? Is that done for a reason? Like, do you have an opinion on alcohol?
Okay, so there are two things I try to totally avoid, drinking and dating. And I mean, once in a while, I do drink with people. I give company, but in general, that's not a priority of mine. So, no, I don't, and I'm not against people doing either. But what I'm trying to say is like, people just focusing on drinking and dating is like, how about do something else? And they say, no, I'm looking for someone to date. I say, listen, seek ye first something meaningful, and then you'll find what you're looking for. Go on a hike. You'll find someone who loves hike. Go for dance. You'll find someone who likes to dance. If you don't like to drink, you're trying to stay sober, go to a sober group. You'll find someone over there. So if you're looking for a young crowd, go to the 20-30s. If you're a religious Christian, there's a Christian group. If you always are with your kids, you have a parents and kids group. So we have everyone covered, every kind of activity. Dancing, pickleball, as in sports. Then
Pickleball's pretty new.
Yeah. Bowling events, hiking, walks, ethnic cooking class, ethnic foods, languages, learning of languages, travels and trips. And I think these are the Christian religion and language group. So I think we got pretty much everything covered. We just acquired a stand-up mic group. So I'm trying to put things over there like stand-up comedy and stuff. So.
You yourself are going to be a comedian?
I'm thinking about it. I always make a clown of myself when I try. But no, it's more for existing artists, stand-up comedians.
Oh, okay.
And people who do talk show and karaoke, something like that. Yeah.
You've become a really great connector. If you say that you were really shy.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. I remember as a kid. In one instance, I got beaten up by a girl and I got a fracture. And the sad part was she was vegetarian. Imagine being beaten up by a girl and she's vegetarian and you broke your shoulder. So
she broke it because of the.
No, I was making fun of her and then she like pushed me against a wall and then I fell and I hurt. Like no, she didn't punch me and break my bone, but I fell.
Oh man.
So, yeah. I was very shy and weak and socially awkward, but all these dance especially has brought me this confidence and communication skill.
And what are some funny interactions that you've had while meeting and creating this diverse network of groups? Because I'm pretty sure that, again, I don't think I've ever met person with Indian hardware and a Mediterranean software like you said. And especially the fact that so many languages, have connected with so many other cultures, you understand them very well. What are some of the misconceptions that have happened with you, about you?
About me and like one thing that's really difficult is so I do events in Boston, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida, in Tampa and Jacksonville. Okay. So 1 week a month I do over there. And I'm trying to do a pickleball class in let's say in Florida. So the people on Facebook say, hey, wait a minute. Your house residence is in Boston and your events page is in Carolina and you're teaching in Florida? Are you for real or are you a scam artist? And then I sound like I work for customer service. I'm some scam artist from India, which is a lot that's going on. So they get confused. And then someone throws up a statement. Hey, I looked him up and he's a preacher. He used to be a preacher. And I was like, oh, yeah, right. This guy is fake.
Oh, man.
So that has been a misconception. Another thing is, people come to my dance event. I remember this lady came once in Lake Norman. And as she entered, I said, oh, are you here for the salsa event? And she goes, yes. She thought, what's this guy doing in a salsa event, right? After a while, she goes, where is the instructor? I said, that would be me. And then she's looking at me for a while and she goes, are you from Mexico? And I'm like, no, I'm not from Mexico. So people, when they come to my event, some of them are surprised because they're expecting to see a Jose or a Mario, and then they see this, they're like, how did this fit in,
Yeah, and you're so well-rounded that you can understand it. Like normally, I would say that I haven't met someone from India that's so open, that's so well-rounded like you. I don't really network with a lot of Indians, so maybe that's why. But you're so well-rounded that I can see that happening. Plus, you dance salsa. Is there a lot of more Indians dancing salsa or no?
No. It's not.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, not everyone from my background is like this. So I was born in the Middle East. I worked in London. I worked in Singapore. And I was in England and Wales in 1999.
That really shaped you then? Or that really gave you more of a bigger perspective?
Yeah, so you get to know about the British and the European culture. Then you're working in Singapore and you get to know about that area, Malaysia and Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm originally from India, and then I came to the US. So it gives you a mix of. Plus, we originally come from partially Hindu family,
Mm-hmm.
and then being born in the Middle East, researched on Islam, and was exposed to Islam, and then found Christ in that process and became Christian. So then that way I got exposure, from an Indian country in the Middle East and then here. So you get to learn about all religion, all races, and I do research on anthropology as well. So since I have been there and been exposed to these people, it's easy to.
Since
learn.
you've been exposed to it, is Western culture then very much different than the other ones, or is there still very much similarities? Because I feel like a lot of cultures, family values, American Western culture also has a lot of family values, or is Western culture just very different?
I think the Western culture is very. It depends. Western when you mean England or when you mean US, because it's two completely different things.
Okay.
I get a totally different reaction and treatment when I was in England compared to the US. There are a few bad apples here, but for the most part, the Americans are very welcoming and very friendly. And based on all the countries I've been to, I believe this is one of the best one of the best people that accepts other people's religion, their language, their culture. I remember when I first got here and I was talking about India, and the guy said, "Oh, you're Indian." I said, "Do I look like I'm Viking?" And he goes, No, this is USA. You could still be American." And I was like, wow. Because they wouldn't do that when I was in England.
Really?
Yeah. And in the Middle East, your grandfather could be born in that country. You're not getting a citizenship.
How come?
That's how it is there. If you're born in Kuwait or Dubai, or your grandfather was born there, or your dad was born there, you're not going to get that citizenship. But
It's not accessible?
You cannot. You're not allowed to get that citizenship. Just because you're born there, they won't give you the citizenship.
Really?
Yeah.
And here you are able to get that.
Yeah, here it's more welcoming. You get a green card, you get a citizenship, and you get treated like a citizen too.
Whenever you say England, you're saying, right? Like English?
Yeah, England is a totally different story. Ireland is a different story.
Okay.
Ireland is a different story. One of my Irish friend married an Indian and tried to take him there. They said, "No, that's your husband. You can't take him there." "Well, he's married to me now." "Doesn't matter." So then she went to India. She lived with them. When she went back, they cancelled her citizenship. They said, "You were in India for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, so you're no more Irish."
Wow. Okay.
That doesn't even happen in England. In England, you marry a British, you go there.
Yeah.
Ireland, not so.
And so then America's a very big melting pot of cultures.
Yes. You could be anyone. You could be Japanese. You could be German. You could have fought with this country. Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful part of it.
They're selling Japanese cars. Few years ago, Japan and US. Today, we're selling their cars. It's a very welcoming country.
And sometimes I think that there's misconceptions about it whenever I think that there's pros and cons to just about everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, for example, when Japanese cars came in, a lot of American companies shut down, and so there was a downside of it, and they had to be bailed out. But but hey, we got nice cars here.
Yeah.
And then the American cars had to compete with them, and so their standards went up. So overall, it was a win-win situation.
Okay. And just like you're trying to teach about connections, you're trying to help people across all ages. What type of philosophy do you teach your kids, or do you have kids?
Yes. I go to see them also. Yeah, I have four to five kids. Yeah.
What do you mean 4 to 5 kids?
No, that was just a joke. But yeah, to be specific, I have at least four kids that I'm aware of in Boston. They're in Boston, yeah.
And what type of philosophy do you bring them up in? Then since you're so well rounded, used to be a preacher too
Yes,
at a point in your life.
yes.
What's kind of the philosophy you embody then?
Um, I think it's pretty simple. Be good to yourself and be good to others. You know, sometimes we have to be a little bit selfish, and sometimes we cannot be. So, don't think about you all the time. At the same time, you don't want to be just thinking about others all the time. You got to look at yourself too. And there's a lot of things that are important: health, relationship with God, relationship with the other community, helping yourself and helping others.
And you said relationship with God. Is it different now that you're not a preacher?
I'm not one because of my different situations, but mainly because there's not much need. Whenever there's a need, I go and fit in. Like for example, the Christian events that I do here, I try not to lead it. I try to find someone that I can assist to lead it. I try not to lead it. It's like on a need basis. If someone needs something done, someone needs a prayer walk, someone needs prayer, someone needs a discussion about the Bible, then I try to facilitate it, then actually be the main contact person. I try to put someone else there to do it.
But when you're in that world and you get to be a preacher, don't you always have to uphold what you preach?
Yes, we have to practice what we preach, and we try to do the best.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody's perfect.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a question because, like, again, I think that I can say that I believe in a higher power, but there are just so many culture wars fought over what God is. And I don't know. It's just, it's also comes with like a violent background. So like I'm always asking people's opinion about like what they think that God would want them to do, or like what the relationship to God should look like.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that everyone has like a very different perspective. No one can really define it.
I think I can have an answer to that. The Persians, they call it the Sunni Shia fight. That's not a Sunni Shia fight. It's a pro-Persian and pro-Arab fight that started right from biblical times. King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon and King Darius and Cyrus of Persia, they've been fighting for centuries. It's not a Sunni Shia issue. It's an Arab-Persian issue. It's a Semitic Indo-Aryan issue. But today, they both follow the same religion. But did that help? No, they're still fighting. Okay? Now look at the other side. England, France, Spain, and Germany, and the US fought each other like animals. Where are they today? So religion has brought them together. So it also depends on what you believe in, and does that belief make you all come together? The only reason France, Spain, England, America are together, and Germany, is because of that. They all believed in that same one faith that taught them about love and forgiveness, and they forgave each other, and they love each other today. Whereas in some other cases, unfortunately not.
Which one?
In some other cases in the Middle East, that didn't help.
Yeah,
Religion didn't help there.
Why do you think that is, though? Is that's just because of the people's perception, the country's perception itself?
It is cultural and it's religious also, because in the religion that these countries follow talks about forgiveness and love, unity, helping, humility, and so they followed that. And today they are allies. So religion has helped there. Else Spain, France, and England and Germany would be fighting till today.
I had not
The
seen
only
it.
binding force is that book that taught them about love and forgiveness.
You know how they say that there's been a lot of things lost in translation. In your view, is that true? Has a lot of the original texts been lost to translation to where we're diverted to think a certain way because of how the texts haven't been fixed, or no?
They found some scriptures in a cave called Qumran Cave a few years ago. These were scrolls. It was known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. Dead Sea Scrolls. And they looked at it, and they looked at what they have today. It was the book of Psalms, Isaiah, Proverbs. It was almost the same.
Oh, so it's not lost in translation?
No, it's not. See, the language, the word may change. For example, help in one version may say assist. Okay? In one it may say big. In the other it may say great. So the words may change, but the meaning has not changed. So if you look at different versions of the same book, there are different words and different grammar, but it's the same meaning.
Okay.
Okay, so and I think, and so the message has always been the same. The difference is that we included some books and we excluded some books. So that will just be the difference.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I ask you this because, I mean, since you know so much about this, then do you also try to use this within the groups? Do you try to enlighten people in that type of way as well, or just through socializing? Because, I mean, as much as we need socializing, it's a big need today. A lot of depression, a lot of solitude exists in the world.
Yeah.
Does faith and then a lot of socialization help? Do they go hand in hand?
Okay, so 2 words, need and want. I'm giving people what they need. Sadly, that's not what they want, that they're looking for. So wherever I see the need, I try to put in. Someone is really ill. They say they're lost in life, and they need some prayer or some confirmation, or they're going through a tragedy. Then I fill in. If they don't ask for it, I don't even talk about it. I don't bring it in. My policy is, I can only give you an answer if you ask me a question. If you say you're ill, or you need prayer, or you're hurt, or someone passed away, or you're lost in life, then I try to bring it in. Otherwise, I don't. Like I said, on a need basis. If there's a need, I'll provide. And to tell you, today I have met like around 5,000, 10,000 members. And you know how many people I have used faith for, to improve their situation?
How many?
There's only 1 or 2 that took it.
So not everybody wants it.
Most of the people just want to socialize and have fun, and I'm like, okay. A lot of people ask, but then they go away from it. So I think I can think only of one or two people that actually, have used prayer and faith, have benefited from that. The others, no, they're just looking for.
But if we can create unity with countries that used to hate each other and have fought against each other, wouldn't you say that it's definitely need to be approved upon? Like, obviously, that's not what people are asking. But then, doesn't it become relevant that it is needed?
Oh, once again, there's a lot of things that people need, but it's not what they want, and they don't want to hear about it. So if they don't want to hear about stuff, then I don't bring it up.
Yeah, and again, I think maybe I see it in my perception. Faith in the things that I believe have helped me a lot. Obviously, from the other person's perspective, it might not be that needed. But again, I think that if we're lost, then we are missing something.
I'll give you a perfect example. I don't want to say which country. There was a group of people that came from a particular country. They didn't know anything about dating or socializing. So I told them, I will give you a free session and orientation about how to socialize, how to talk to women here, how to talk to girls, how to date.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there were around 30, 40 people that I had asked to join.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how many joined? 0. It's not what they need. I'm giving them what they need, but it's what they want that they're looking for. So in other words, like I'm trying to tell them, this is how you need to date. And they're like, no, I'm trying to do something else that's not what I should be doing. Kind of.
Yeah, or again, they resort back to things that they have tried, but end up in nothing.
I don't think they're even trying. Like a simple example, you give anybody a healthy vegan burger, they don't want that. They want beef. But is that exactly what they need? No, it's what they want. So what I'm providing to all these people is what they need, what they could need, what they could use. But unfortunately, people are looking for what they want, and so those who need it, they come, and they get the benefits out of it. Those who don't, they go in that circle.
But that's what you're trying to get them out of.
Yeah, I'm trying to get them out of it.
Help them. I mean, like you said, obviously people that want the help and take it are going to take it, and those that don't are just not. What are some of the, I guess, most memorable experience that you've had with like co-hosts, with people that you've met throughout these meetup groups?
I've worked with some really fun,
interesting,
fun and helpful co-hosts. Today, my events are running because of these co-hosts. Mostly women, and they've been very like I told you, I do events from Statesville all the way to Fort Mill. Then I used to do it in Shelby, but I don't do it anymore. I just focus on this now, North and South. But once in a while I go to Gastonia and Shelby, that area.
And it's like, for example, your French class, you don't teach it, right?
No, I mean sometimes I fill in, but sometimes people ask me, do you teach French? I said, do you want to learn French in an Indian accent? Like, do you want to wobble your head when you speak French? Like, bonjour, bonjour. Yeah.
And it's fun then. You've met pretty interesting characters, and do you have fun with it? Like, do you enjoy it? It's like you said that you come from a line of wizards, a line of like people trying to help people. Is it fulfilling?
When people take it, it's fulfilling. When they don't, then it's not. But it has helped the co-hosts a lot. Like a lot of people who are co-hosts, they find someone. They find someone. Um, um, like I said, there are people who've got married, people who've moved in, and yeah, and a lot the co-hosts. I've had some funny experiences too, but the co-hosts have been really helpful.
And I guess it's not really trying to you don't make a huge difference by like in a certain amount of years. I guess you do it over time, and just like you said, the people that have taken it have changed their life, and the people that don't, well, let them continue down the road.
Yeah.
We gotta close out in a few. What was I gonna ask you?
You were asking me about my funny experiences?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I have tons of that. I remember my French and teacher was once saying, "Hey, I was talking to someone and she was like, we can sell?" And I said, "Oh yeah, we can sell." So I was saying, "Hey," she's teaching French. Then after a while she says, "We can sell?" I said, "I just told them, I just sold the class. Like, what do you want?" She goes, "No, since I want to go to Florida, we can sell the class. We cancel the class."
Oh, see, I didn't even understand you there.
Yeah. So I thought she said we can sell. So I said, "Yeah, we can sell." And she was like, "No, we can sell. We cancel."
Oh, and different accents get in the way, right?
Yeah, different. I know one host that I had tough experiences. I had a co-host from Shelby, and it's funny. She always used to say, "Ain't nothing good come out of Shelby," and it was difficult to communicate with her. So I had to text her at times. Like when I told her something, she'd be like, "What do you say? I don't understand." And I had to text it to her.
Is that because she didn't understand your accent and likewise?
Yeah, for the most part, she didn't understand my accent. So,
But you don't have such a tough accent.
but for her, she's been in Shelby all the time. She's always been in Shelby. When she came to Charlotte, she was like walking around like this, and I said, "Man, if she goes to New York City, I can imagine." So she's not exposed. Some people are not exposed to other culture.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. I even got once someone called 911 in one situation.
Someone called 911 on you?
Yeah, so so I have this kids group, and I was like kind of babysitting this young Spanish girl, Latina, and we went to a restaurant, and they were talking to each other, asking what does she want to drink, and she said leche, and they said, "What? You speak Spanish?" And then she starts speaking Spanish. Then they look at me, they don't speak any Spanish, right? And then they got suspicious, and then they called 911. The cops showed up.
They got suspicious because you were taking care of a Latina little girl and you looked Indian.
Yeah. They didn't see they couldn't see the connection, and
But you weren't aware that they were calling the cops or anything, right?
I didn't know. Yeah.
But you didn't pull out your Spanish?
Say what?
You didn't talk Spanish?
No, I don't look Spanish, right?
Yeah, at all. But you talk Spanish, right?
I talk a little bit of Spanish, but obviously I don't look Spanish, right? And so they thought like, what's he doing with her? And yeah.
And then what happened?
No, and then we explained, and then it was fine, and then. I mean, I've had another situation. I take care of these kids sometimes. They're from Africa, and then so when the people, like a security guy, looks at me and he looks at the kid, he's like, yeah, could be. Yeah, I know what they mean when they look at me like that. But anyway, it's funny.
Oh my gosh, you weren't. you're never scared, even though you have these experiences. Like you just kind of take it like that. Like
yeah, it's it's part of the doing these events.
mm-mm. And I really appreciate you sharing these events. I mean, I appreciate who you are and what you embody as well. I've learned a lot. Obviously, we could be here and sit here all day and talk about a range of different topics, but I do appreciate you sharing your experiences and also what you really want to accomplish through these meetup groups. So, guys, if you want to get to go to one of these events, I will have the links below. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And Jay, again, any last remarks you would like to give out to people, or about the event, about socializing, a message, so that we can close out the episode?
Yeah, sure. Just few things. Just one thing. Life is short, Try to be positive. Try to do good things and good activities. Do quality events with quality people. And try to prioritize what you're doing. Make sure you're doing the right stuff. And if something's not working, then try to improvise.
I like it.
There's a lot of other options there. Yeah.
No, and like I said, I like the message that you're trying to bring. At the end of the day, if you try the same thing and get the same results, that's called insanity. So, or something like that. If you try the same things and you don't get the result that you want, then it's insanity. Something like that. And what you're trying to do is bring a new concept, socialization, which I think is good. And it brought you out of who you used to be to a better version of yourself. And at the end of the day, if people can accomplish a better version of themselves, live life and enjoy it truly fully to its full extent, then that's exactly what you're trying to do. So I appreciate you, and I hope to have you again on the podcast to talk about a different range of topics. Again, we could probably sit here all day and talk, but we'll definitely leave it for another episode. Again, thank you, Jay. And
sure, thank you, Mario.
I hope to have you again. Guys, thank you guys for staying this long, and make sure, again, you guys like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.